All right, everybody, welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
We are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing. And
welcome into Inside the Game, episode 320. My name's Ryan Glinsky. We've got James Schofield, our producer, in the building. And today, special day. The semifinals are kicking off in the World Cup, and it's also a very sad day because it means we've got like two more of these games left to go that actually matter after today. So very sad day that the World Cup is coming to a close. However, we've got all chalk, and I absolutely love it as we have the top four teams in the semifinals for the first time ever. Obviously starts with France versus Spain. I almost said Frame there. That could have been good. But again, hit the like button if you haven't already. Trying to get to at least 5 today. Get your comments, get your thoughts about the game. Let's go a quick rundown of what we got going on today before we get into the Spain versus France conversation. Spain versus France, obviously, is number one. Top 5 controversies at the 2026 World Cup, because I think this is the most controversial World Cup of all time. And then we have, what are the USA best athletes played soccer? This is the most annoying thing that I've ever had to watch on social media. And Christian Pulisic is losing America. But before we get into the Spain versus France conversation, I found this funny video online. James hasn't seen it yet, but we do have it pulled up. This is some bison that just going after going after a tourist. That's where I was going at. A tourist. And he was upset. This bison got pissed off that this tourist was taking a photo of him, and watch the bison's reaction. Watch this.
Flash photography. All right, so yeah, let's take a look here. All right, let's see.
Watch this thing. He just starts chasing the guy. So you see the car in the background. He just starts chasing him. Look at that old man. He's old too. Watch this thing.
Oh!
He goes flying like 8
Everybody's
feet.
just standing over him like,
Yeah, he's like,
bitch.
He just
nodded at him too. He's like, bitch.
Don't show it again. Dude, he goes flying like 8 feet up in the air. Look at him. He just chasing him.
This car's like, yeah, I'm not getting involved.
He's just chasing him. And look, he's old too. So he's old too.
Who needs an AI video when you've got that? Oh my God. And then that nod at the end though, that free
and
he's like, yeah, bitch.
He just gets absolutely thrown up in the in the air.
Wow.
That's yeah. We started off the show with a little bit of some fun, interesting stuff. Again, if you guys really like videos like that, we continue to do that. But again, get your thoughts in the comments about the matchup here today between France versus Spain. There will be a watch party later on today for France versus Spain right here. You guys can check that out as well. JV with our first comment of the morning says, I can see the future. FIFA instructions to Ivan Barton. France number 10 cover his mouth decision is red card, so he won't give BTA to their pamper little cute boy Pessi in the final. Wow, so the scripts.
Then.
I'm just telling you guys, I don't think Argentina's getting to the final. I think they're losing tomorrow.
Nah, they're gonna push them through.
I don't think Messi's getting to the World Cup final, guys. I really don't see it at all. But my dad thinks Spain's gonna win today over France. I don't know about that one, Dad. I don't know about that one. But no, I just don't see Messi getting all the way through. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit more about the whole Argentina conspiracy theory as we get going. But let's go into the matchup here today. France versus Spain, top teams in the world. These two teams did play last summer. It was a 5-4 Spain win. If I remember correctly, Spain was actually up 4-0 and almost lost the game in the Nations League semifinal. And obviously, they won in the Euro semifinals against France as well. So these two teams, they're very familiar with each other. This isn't going to be anything new to them. They know each other, which, by the way, 3 UEFA teams in the World Cup semifinals. I think that's great because why do I want World Cup expansion? Because we're going to see more UEFA teams in the mix in the World Cup, and it's just going to mean better games and better competition. If everyone says that the Euros are harder than the World Cup, well, you better get more UEFA teams in it. But if we look at this matchup, I think this is going to be a very slow game. I think the first half is going to be rather boring. I think if you look at a majority of France's first halves, it's rather boring, and I think Spain is a team that can lull France into that boredom, I guess, a little bit because of how much and how well they possess the ball. I think the midfield matchup is going to be great today. You've got Rodri, you got Dani Olmo versus an Olise versus a Rabiot versus a Kone. I think it's going to be a fantastic midfield battle. I think that's what I'm most excited to see is the midfield battle. But I think this first half especially is going to be very slow. It's going to be very methodical. I don't think a whole lot is going to happen because I think Spain wants to dictate the pace. They want to control the possession. I think they're the highest rated possession team at this World Cup. I think they're also the highest in the previous World Cup as well, but they possess the ball really well. And when you have two gladiators like this that are coming together like this, I think we're going to get a little bit of a boring first half. Once we get into the second half and Didier Deschamps and De La Fuente kind of create their changes at halftime, I think we're going to see it open up a little bit. And France is definitely the team that can go out and open things up, especially with their players. Olise, Mbappe, Doué, Dembele. JV thinks that Mbappe is going to get sent off for some BS. I don't see that happening, JV. I don't see that happening with Kylian Mbappe because Kylian Mbappe, as much as we say Messi is a cash cow, Kylian Mbappe is 100% a cash cow as well. But I look at that first half, I think it's going to be rather boring. That's what I'm expecting. Could be wrong. And I will gladly be wrong in this situation because I want to see entertainment from a neutral perspective. However, I do think it's going to be boring. Second half, though, I think you're going to start to see things opened up. I think you're going to see a Bradley Barcola come on. He's going to change things. Mikel Merino is probably going to come on in the second half as well for Spain. If you look at him, what he has done in the last two matchups for Spain, rescuing them in the, the Portugal match, and then what was the one that they just had? Belgium, that was the one. Let's see, Dave, constantly getting the fifth like. He is. Consistency is key, Dave. Spain equal. Dude, Spain is not Michigan. Spain is not Michigan, Dad. I'll tell you that. They have a very, very good connected team. They have a very good continuity amongst one another. The midfield is very good. I think they work well with each other. Obviously, Cucurella. Who's the other outside back for Spain? Cucurella and the other guy Pedro Porro, that's what I'm thinking of. Getting up and down the field, and then you have Oyarzabal, obviously at the top, and then obviously we haven't even highlighted Lamine Yamal yet. What is he going to do? I feel like this is going to be a legacy game for Lamine Yamal. I think he's going to score at some point. I think that he's going to score the lone Spain goal because Lamine Yamal is going to create something. He's too good of a player not to score in this game. However, the France backline is very good. They haven't let up a goal yet in this knockouts. Spain has only let up one goal in the knockout so far. I think one goal in this whole tournament so far, and that was to the Belgians, obviously in the last game. But I think though, if you are Spain, you've got to somehow create Lamine Yamal one-on-one opportunities all over the field. And if you look at Spain, the majority of where their goals come from, a lot of their chances really come from getting to the end line, cutting it back, or just cutting it back into those late arriving runs into the box. You think of a guy like a Rodri, a Dani Olmo, who are making those late arriving runs and can just pass the ball into the net, if you will. Even Mikel Merino could do the same thing. Very curious to see when Merino comes onto this match because obviously he's going to be on the bench. He's he's not really a striker by trade, but he somehow plays a striker very, very well. Just watch him as an Arsenal player when Arsenal had legitimately, I think, a teenager, him and Leandro Trossard as the front three for like half the year in 2025. But if you watch him though, he's somehow a very potent striker. I don't understand how it happens, but it just works. Which if I was the youth coach that whoever decided to make him a center midfielder, I mean, I'd question that coach's ability because clearly Merino is a fantastic striker, especially on his day. But I look at the matchup here today. And I think it's going to come down to ultimately because I think both these teams are very even strength. I think these two teams are mirror each other very, very well, and I think that's why the first half is going to be rather boring. But I look at the two superstars. Is the young Lamine Yamal in his first ever World Cup, is he going to step up tonight? Is it going to be Kylian Mbappe who just takes over, or is it going to be a Dembele, a Doué? That's where I would slightly give the edge to France right now, simply because of the superpower or the superstars and their offense. Because, I mean, you're going to stop a Doué, a Dembele, an Olise, who's a midfielder, and a Kylian Mbappe. Like the Spanish backline is going to have a field day with those four players running at you. Then you bring in a Mateta and a Bradley Barcola coming off the bench. That's a recipe for disaster almost. That backline is going to have to communicate amongst one another very, very well. You can't allow anyone to slip through the cracks at all through the backline. Ultimately, I think Spain is struggling as well with the goalkeeping situation. Still have no idea why Unai Simon is the starting goalkeeper when you have Garcia and Raya on the bench. Barca keeper, best Premier League goalkeeper, makes zero sense why Unai Simon is the goalkeeper, but apparently it's working because they've given up one goal so far in this World Cup. But another thing I want to pivot to here as well is I think Spain has been a little bit more tested than France so far. I think you look at France, Sweden, not a whole lot. Gyökeres and Isak were a disaster and a massive disappointment in this World Cup. Look at the Paraguay match. I think that was a very good test for France. I think Paraguay made things ugly. They mudded it up, as I like to say. And as Mbappe I like to say, they expected us to play in tuxedos that match. They didn't play in tuxedos. They got down and dirty, and they were ultimately able to get the victory in the end. You look at the last match against Morocco. I mean, they just made a top 10 team look. Croissants versus churros. I just saw what you did there, James. I like it. You can give yourself a horn for that.
Okay.
I like what you did there. But Morocco, they looked like a shell of themselves, and that's why I think France wins today as well. That's why I think they win the World Cup overall, because they made a top 10 team in the world look silly. Like Morocco didn't test the goalkeeper at all in this game. Like it was crazy to think that they didn't even test. I don't think they had a shot on target until the 88th minute, 87th minute, or maybe just inside stoppage time of the second half. Like it was horrible. I just don't understand how they didn't test the goalkeeper at all in the match. And that is something that I would really hope that Spain does a little bit differently in this game because, I mean, you've got to test the goalkeeper at every which way. And then you think about it with Spain, their path so far. Austria, they didn't do a whole lot in that match. I mean, probably a tougher matchup than Sweden, though. And then you look at the round of 16, Portugal. That's a rivalry game. That was a close game, very good matchup. Mikel Merino was the one who saved it. Like I said, the Arsenal boys, you want to go far in this World Cup, you need an Arsenal boy in your team. Look at France, look at Spain, look at England. I'm just saying, Brazil got saved by Gabriel Martinelli time and time again. So you need one of those guys to get in there. And then you look at who they played. They played 2 top 10 teams so far in the knockouts. France has only played 1 in the knockouts, and obviously that is the way that the bracket kind of shaped out. But no, I think Spain's a little bit more battle tested coming into this matchup. I think that could do wonders for them and trying to get a victory here tonight. JV Flores says, great match overall, just hoping FIFA doesn't ruin the game. The Unai Simon situation is because De La Fuente likes how Simon plays with his feet. They like to start the attack from the goalkeeper. Well, has he not seen David Raya play, like, at all? I'm just saying, like, has he not seen it? He can play with his feet very well. He's a better shot stopper than Unai Simon. I'm just saying. I get it, though. It's working so far, but I also just think Spain has just suffocated teams so far. It's almost like a boa constrictor where they're just going to control everything, and then they're eventually just going to suck you in and then just pull you apart and then win the match. And obviously they do it the pretty way. They've done it the ugly way in the last 2 matches. They did it the pretty way against Austria. But now, score prediction for tonight. Oh, by the way, I don't think FIFA's going to rig this one. I think we're now past the FIFA rigging games, by the way. I think we're past that because guess what? The top 4 teams in the world are in the semifinals of the World Cup. First time that's ever happened. I don't think it's going to happen against Argentina and England. Like I said yesterday, it's unriggable to beat England or to rig it against England. They're too big of a nation. They've got too many stars all over the place. We're past that. Same thing with France versus Spain. That's not going to happen anymore because 2 big brands, superstars all over the place. It's the same thing on both sides. It'll be the same thing in the World Cup final as well. Now, we could have had this argument if France played like I don't know. They played like a Paraguay if they somehow made it. Maybe what is it? If a Croatia got this far, maybe we have a rigged situation, but I genuinely do not see. Maybe if Switzerland got to play England, I genuinely don't see that situation happening. I just don't see it being rigged anymore at this point. There might be questionable calls, but I mean, what sporting event doesn't have questionable calls? What soccer match doesn't have questionable calls? But I think we're fully past the whole rigging matches and it's rigged for Messi, rigged for Mbappe, whatever you want to call it. I think we are fully past that. But anyway, the prediction for tonight's matchup, Spain versus France. Again, my predictions haven't been very well, so maybe you take it with a grain of salt. But I think France is going to win this game 2-1. I think it's going to be 0-0 going into the break. I think Mbappe is going to score 1. I think Lamine Yamal is going to score 1. And then in the end, I think France is just going to have too many superstars, too many unbelievable talents all over the place. And I think a guy like an Ousmane Dembele is going to score the winner late into the match. And honestly, it might even go to extra time too. Wouldn't even be surprised by that. But I think France is going to win this thing 2-1. In the 90 minutes, I just think France has got too many stars all over the place. I think they're going to take it to Spain here today. I think it's going to be, like I said, a lethargic first half. I think they're just going to try and feel each other out, see exactly where to attack in the second half. It's going to go 0-0. Not a lot's going to happen. I'm going to sit here saying, do something here on the watch party. That's what's going to probably be said. Yep. But nothing's going to happen in the first half. Second half, things are going to start to open up. An early goal from Kylian Mbappe in the first half opens things, and then Spain's going to start attacking. They're going to get the equalizer, and then France, just in the end, I just feel France is going to win this World Cup. I really feel France is going to win it, and that is going to be my prediction. Again, get your thoughts in on the game as well. Get your predictions in there. Get anything that you think about the game overall. JV, FIFA did rig this World Cup, though. Just look at the half times at all Messi Oh, look at the halftime show. All Messi's favorite bands and neighbors. Nickelback shit headline. We talked about how horrible. We talked about how horrible of a halftime show it was. So supposedly Madonna was Messi's neighbor for the longest time. That makes sense. He apparently likes the band Coldplay. I don't know if he has Bieber fever. I mean, he did have a Justin Bieber style haircut for a while there, Messi, back in the early 2010s. So maybe that's why he had it. BTS, they suck, by the way. They're horrible. I gave them a listen.
They danced along. They've done videos. I think him and his family have done videos of them dancing along to BTS.
Okay, that makes sense. Still, Messi, greatest player of all time. But man, your music choices suck. Like they're horrible. We could have just had Drake do the Canada representation. We really could have had that. My dad says extra time. Spain victorious 2-1. Could see it going to extra time. Could see Spain winning it, but I think France ultimately wins it. But no, the halftime show, guys. As the American representation here for all of our European, international listeners, South American, whatever it is, I apologize on behalf of America. Oh my
gosh!
I apologize for how
Here we go again.
For how this halftime show is for the World Cup final. I apologize. Madonna is not the best American representation. We could have had 10 million of them. I apologize. We're also getting all these other groups involved that really don't need to be involved. I would just like to apologize for how horrible of a FIFA World Cup. Again, 2026 is going to be the year of ass halftime shows. That is just the reality of it. I don't know why we picked 2026. Maybe it's because all the music in 2026 is relatively horrible. But I apologize for it. And 2025 was horrible too. Maybe not. 2026 is better than 2025 music. But I just would like to apologize to everyone. Ryan hates the halftime show. We're not surprised. Hey, as long as it's
had to do it, all right?
As long as it's not Queen doing it, I'm also happy.
Not even start on the Queen again.
What, because Queen's not good?
Oh my gosh.
Is that why? Just because
Listen, first of all, I just want to remind you that I hold all the power here. I could just shut your camera off.
Yes,
okay?
I will,
in a heartbeat.
I will say
Secondly,
I will say I do miss being a producer sometimes because when John was a part of the show, I was like, yeah, you realize I could just turn this thing off. Like I could just.
So now you're feeling the shoes on the other foot, huh?
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's wild because I do miss the producer power, man. Like there is a power that is in the producer seat because you control everything.
And with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
And it is my responsibility to shut you up when you try to say that Queen is not the greatest band of all time.
Because they're not the greatest.
They do literal. Oh my gosh. Literally, they have actual university courses around just their performances. Okay? They're the greatest band of all time.
And that's the
standard? What other band has literal academic courses built around them?
Is that the standard for stuff?
It should be.
Is that the standard?
Listen, if you are so good that you are studied, that people are willing to spend like $5,000 on a class just to learn about you,
I don't think they learned just about the whole Queen thing. I mean, there was one of my classes at Central my senior year. We showed some dude interviewed Pete Rose at like an All-Star game and it was considered the worst interview of all time. So like that's the standard, being like as bad as worse as it is. Like that's like not everything you put in school is like the greatest thing ever.
All right, fine. But again, though, you look at literally just their performance, and you look at the fact that like
without
their
the
number
movie,
one
they're
hit.
not popular. Without the movie,
are you kidding me?
Without the movie, they're unpopular.
Are you kidding me?
Literally, no one knows about them until
they had the movie because they were popular. What are you talking about?
They made the movie. Without the movie, they are not popular. Without it,
how?
It's as simple because they would have been forgotten.
What?
They would have been forgotten without it.
Literally every time Bohemian Rhapsody comes on the radio, people have been headbanging for the past like 30 years.
So
I
headbanged to Motley Crue, Linkin Park. I mean, like,
yeah,
Queen has never made me go like this, just driving down 23 miles.
It makes plenty of people go like that.
It's never done that. I didn't know that was the standard for how good of a band is if you just
not just that. Okay, fine. You want to look at even the musicality of it? I mean, literally, you have an opera-trained singer writing these tunes. And even if you look at the history, when they did Bohemian Rhapsody, like the record company was like, dude, we're not doing like a 7 freaking minute rock opera song. And Queen's like, yeah, we are. And they're like, all right, fine, go ahead. Because back in the day, when you were an artist, you could actually, do your work instead of just trying to make money. They were like, all right, we'll try it. And it freaking became a huge hit. It's literally like 3 songs wrapped into one. It's literally written like a classical piece. It's gorgeous. It's one of the greatest songs of all time by one of the greatest bands of all time.
Queen, We Are the Champions, better than Madonna, Like a Virgin. I think both of those are just mid
Now that
songs.
I will agree on. Yes,
I don't like
a Virgin's definitely nowhere near.
I don't like We Are the Champions. That's a very that's a very overrated song in my opinion. It's overplayed every single sporting event.
I will hand you that.
It's not even a good song.
I
Period.
will hand you that. It's
not even a good
overused.
song. Period. Queen live at Wembley is one of the best live performances ever. For sure, Dad. No wonder you have questionable music taste, as it is anyway.
Oh my gosh, you do not dishonor your father like that.
Oh no, we do that all the time.
No, you're not allowed when it comes to Queen, though.
Yes,
I'm with your dad on
Queen's
this.
not that good. It's just not that good.
Oh my gosh.
SSB says hello to you too. JV, love to see this D1 instigator.
He really is. No,
I'm
you
not
really are right.
instigating nothing.
You really are right. You know what? On the way home, the whole way you're listening to An Evening at the Opera. The whole way you're listening to Bohemian Rhapsody. You're headbanging on the way home. You see me drive by. I can see you turn down your radio so I don't hear that you're listening to Bicycle. They wrote a song about a bicycle, and it became like huge.
Yeah, and Dire Straits wrote a song about microwaves and MTV. That's
And it became huge,
That's a
too.
way better song than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh my!
That's a way better song. That guitar.
I'm gonna
riff
need
is
some heart
so
medication
badass.
over here.
That's better than anything
I need
Queen's ever
some heart
produced.
medication over here. I'm about to have a heart attack. Oh my gosh!
I listened
Ryan.
to Dire Straits, and all he talked about was money for nothing about MTV and
Chicks for
microwaves.
free. He was writing about everything after Queen.
And
because Queen was the greatest, and then everybody else just gave up.
By the way, I was listening to Money for Nothing for and this is the first time I've ever realized it. There are some words that I have never heard in a song ever used before that we can't say obviously on air. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, hold on. And I rewind it and I look at the lyrics and stuff. I go, no way he actually said those words. I did not expect that.
No, there's some effed up songs. Like Everybody Wants to Rule the World is actually like one of the most depressing songs if you actually listen to the lyrics. It's bad.
There are certain songs where it's like you actually look at the lyrics. I'm like, wow, this is a very messed up song. SSB says, Madonna, no, give me some Madonna. Look, I don't hate Madonna. I don't like her, but she's like 80 years old. I don't know what she is going to do on stage for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to do.
That's why you're saying give me Maradona.
Oh, Maradona.
Yeah, Madonna. Give me some Maradona.
Yeah, I mean, we put a hologram of Diego Maradona out there. Sure, my apologies. I dyslexic there for a second there. Madonna, no, give me some Maradona. Okay, God, I mean, Messi might be playing, so that's as close as you're going to get. But no, I apologize on half of America for how horrible we put together this halftime show. I apologize to everyone.
It's going to be the greatest. It won't be the greatest, but it'll be pretty.
It's going to be pretty.
It's going to be pretty damn good.
It's going to be pretty bad.
It's going to be good.
It's not going to be good. There's nothing about this performance that tells me that's going to be good.
It's going to be
BTS is trash. I heard their songs yesterday. Garbage.
Brian May is going to show up and play on BTS's segment.
The only K-pop song I like is Gangnam Style. That's shout out. That's like one of the greatest. One of the greatest.
You didn't jump on the golden.
The greatest K-pop song of all time. Shout out Gangnam Style. Fourth grade. That song was the greatest thing ever. Everyone was doing Gangnam Style.
That wrist dance thing.
Exactly. It's a stupid dance. It's a stupid dance. But man, that was a very catchy song.
It really was.
Back in fourth grade.
I was not a fan of that, but no matter what, it was in my head.
That was hilarious. It's a stupid song, but man, it was catchy back in the day.
Yeah.
Madonna, no, she's like old. Justin Bieber, not a fan of Bieber Fever. Not a big fan of it. And then
Ryan's a believer.
Who else is there? Coldplay. Well, if you look at Coldplay's Super Bowl halftime.
Well, Chris Martin's curating it. Obviously he'll probably make an appearance, but I don't think maybe the entire band will show up and they'll play.
Well,
with
if you
BTS.
look at Coldplay's Super Bowl halftime performance, the most replayed is Beyonce and Bruno Mars, and not even
of course.
Coldplay.
I mean,
SSB says I said that because I find it interesting how the Argentines are trying to recreate the 1986 scenario. Well, they are getting close. They are getting very close. If if Messi just does this, I mean, he is short. Maybe Messi goes like this, and it bounces in. We'll know if it's truly rigged if Messi goes like this with the hand of God and it bounces off his hand and in. We'll truly know if it's rigged at that point, because then with the inception of VAR, that should overturn everything. SSB said just what I said. Screw it. Put Drake up there.
Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than Justin Bieber. You could have had Alanis Morissette up there. That would have been. Hold on. Who are the best? Let's see.
I do like Alanis Morissette.
She's not bad.
She literally was God in that one movie.
Best
in Dogma.
Canadian musicians today. Let's
Avril Lavigne, she's pretty cool.
let's see. The Weeknd's Canadian?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. The Weeknd would have been better.
I mean, pretty much the best. Canada imports two things: beer and celebrities. I mean, let's be real. Like, they have the best celebrities.
Tate McRae sucks. She's hot, but she sucks. Her music's horrible, but she's hot. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. But other than that, there's just not a whole.
Oh, your dad agrees. Alanis is solid. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know he has to say that though. Or else my mom would get mad at us. So yeah, we have to say that by law. We have to say that.
Yeah, you need someone who has global appeal for sure.
Yeah, Drake has global appeal.
BTS has global appeal.
Yeah, but they suck though.
They don't.
Nickelback is Canadian. Is Nickelback Canadian?
There's no way. Canada's too nice to produce a band like Nickelback.
No way Nickelback is Canadian.
They are. Oh my! How are they Canadian? I
I
did not know that Canadian also imports shit, but that's okay.
Nickelback gets too much hate though. Like,
no, they don't. They are
they're the
awful.
most hated band
because they're one of the worst bands of all. Like your view of Queen is my view of Nickelback, except my view of Nickelback is actually accurate.
No,
so
everyone hated on Nickelback.
Worst band of all time is Nickelback.
The internet said, "Let's hate on Nickelback." Like everyone's like, "Oh, let's join everyone. Let's hate on Nickelback."
No, the reason
it's
why everybody hates Nickelback, he has
horrible.
the worst voice of all time. He can't even blend with his own voice. Literally, when I hear his harmonies,
clearly they haven't
it just sounds like
clearly they
cats
haven't heard
screaming at me.
Vince Neil in 2026.
Oh my gosh!
Clearly they haven't heard Vince Neil in 2026. So
no, I would rather listen to William Hung than listen to freaking Nickelback.
I'm saying the Nickelback hate is just forced, and it's just everyone was like, "Let's hate on Nickelback because the internet says so."
Listen,
that's why Nickelback
things
hated.
become cliches because of the fact that everybody accepts it. Nickelback is awful. That's the reason why it's a cliche to hate them, is because they're just they're objectively awful.
You ask like anyone like my age, Nickelback's not that bad. They're not horrible.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm pulling the age card then. Your generation is a bunch of musical morons. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm going to say it right now. If you like Nickelback, you are wrong. You are absolutely wrong, and you hate Queen. You literally are the opposite of music knowledge, apparently, because there's no way that you can like Nickelback and not like Queen. Like it just
if we get Bad Bunny,
makes no sense.
If we get Bad Bunny, just cancel the World Cup. just cancel it. If we get Bad Bunny, just cancel it.
Bad Bunny round 2.
Just cancel it, please. Like. I'm good. Low key, Bad Bunny would have been better for the World Cup final. Oh, we completely forgot about Shakira in all of this.
Shakira. Hands down, she by default. That's why we're not mentioning her, because I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that.
She's the queen of the World Cup.
Yeah. That's just by default.
But yes, by default, she's fine to go. Low key, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny probably would be better suited for.
Bad Bunny has some booty cheeks.
That's true. I will say though, he is better suited for the World Cup final than the Super Bowl. I will give you that. I'll give you that. But no, Queen is just awful. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Can I say Van Halen's better than Queen? Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? Do you think Van Halen's better than Queen? Am I allowed? Is that allowed amongst the music elite? I don't know if I'm a part of the music elite.
You're not.
I don't know if
you
James
like Nickelback.
Because is Queen is just because they created their own instruments, they created their own songs. I didn't know creating their own guitars are what makes Jack White then should be considered the greatest.
Jack White is pretty amazing. Then literally in the intro of the documentary, it's him literally just grabbing a 2x4, some string, and a freaking Coke bottle, and he starts playing guitar, and he's like, "Who said you got to buy a guitar?" It's like Jack White's amazing. Like, he's so cool. There you go. You know what? Your dad. Literally, I was gonna go there too. Like, who'd you side with?
I don't know. I didn't know there was two different.
The big Van Halen split. You got to pick a side. I mean, that's just how everybody is. You
Whichever
pick-
one sounds better. I don't know. I didn't know there was a split between the two.
Oh my gosh! See, this is why you like Nickelback, because you have no musical knowledge.
I do have good musical knowledge, actually.
Now, apparently, you don't.
What Mexican artists are there? I think Shakira technically is representing the Spanish Mexican.
Yeah, I mean,
side of things.
let's be real. What's the most American thing than just bundle the entirety of South America into one?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's three
But yeah.
countries. Yeah, I don't think Mexico has any representation at all in the halftime show. I really don't. Shakira's got to be the only one that counts for it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I genuinely don't think there is a representation for Mexico.
Oh, here we go. We've got let's see.
Because BTS is Asia, Coldplay would be Europe, Shakira would be South America, and then Bieber would
Yeah.
be Canada, and Madonna would be America. So I don't think Mexico has got any representation.
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, Shakira did perform at Mexico's opening ceremony.
So I guess she counts as South America and Mexico. They were just like, screw it.
Yeah, we're south. They're
like,
South
screw-
and Central.
They're like,
South
screw
and
it. We're
Central
gonna take
America.
Spanish,
Listen,
South America.
Your name sounds. It sounds close enough. We'll just.
Yeah.
It's close enough. Just go.
It rolls off the tongue. Good.
Yeah.
You're good. We just forgot about the Mexicans. I laugh my ass off. Yeah, that is true, SSP. But all right, let's get in the break here. Let's get into why this World Cup is the most controversial of all time. We'll give you a couple moments, top 5 moments from the controversy from the World Cup. Episode 320 will continue, hopefully, after this.
Welcome to the National Soccer Network, your home for soccer. One destination, every match, every moment. Built for players, powered by passion. Live games, highlights, and more each and every day. Only on the National Soccer Network.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. The U.S. look like they are truly poised for a dream run at this point. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and over, select state. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Great game footage starts with Vio. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Vio footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Vio experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, we are back on episode 320. Didn't know if we were going to make it through the commercial break there, but
I almost kept you muted. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no more show. James is just pissed about my whole musical stuff, which JV Flores does bring up a good chat, a good point in the chat, since Mexico does not have a global star though. But James and I were talking though. Salma Hayek, can she just come in though? Can she just be on stage? Like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that absolutely happening. But yeah, no, it's a good point though. Mexico does not have a global.
I mean, Salma Hayek did sing. She did sing in Across the Universe, so she could just do it.
Fine by me.
Let's do it.
She can be there. Whoa. ESPN Infantino reported to IOC over dealings with Donald Trump, including the handling of Fuller and Balogun suspension. Well, that's a good segue right into our controversy segment, because I think this World Cup has been the most controversial of all time. Like, there is, I don't recall, like, 2022, there was the controversy leading up to it. Yeah, there was a little controversy leading up to this one, too, but it was just ticket prices. 2018, same thing. 14, same thing. 2010, I get same thing. But this one has been more on the field, and I think this was completely tailored to the American audience, because what do Americans like better? Drama. That's why they love Love Island so much. That's why they love reality TV so much, because there's so much damn drama amongst those shows. So FIFA was like, Americans don't really like the sport of soccer, so let's just drop drama all over the place. I think one of them has to be the inception of the hydration breaks in the quarters. Now that pisses off a ton of people, because now we have 4 quarters in the game of soccer. As Dave likes to mention before on the watch parties, second quarter, fourth quarter, as we get into. Dave always likes to mention that, and that's what we were saying in the USA Belgium watch party. Was like, just don't let us get into the second quarter. Just don't let us get into that one. And obviously we did score in the second quarter, our lone goal. But I think that number 5 has to be the inception of the hydration breaks. I think that is a big controversy a little bit, because some people have been upset though that you haven't really got the full authentic experience of soccer, because part of the game of soccer is going the full 45 minutes each half. You don't get it's not like you can just signal a timeout and let's adjust everything. That's not the case. And we've seen teams come out of the hydration break, whether it's the first half or the second half, and it just changes the trajectory of the game.
Oh, I've seen that so many times.
That's happened time and time again with all that. So I think that should be number 5, and because how many times it's pissed people off. I think number 4, at least in my eyes, should be the Croatia-Portugal match, because I just don't see how Croatia lost that game. I like, that was a faint PK to give Ronaldo a knockout goal for the first time ever. Fuller Balogun has the same amount of knockout goals as Cristiano Ronaldo does in history, which is hilarious to me. I think that is definitely one that should be up there. And then on top of that, you have the faintest of touches on the ball. Like, the rotation of the ball did not change, like, at all. And if the rotation of the ball did not change, then I just don't think it touched the head of whoever the Croatian guy was. And then obviously that led to the equalizing goal that would have put it into extra time. And I think Croatia got the short end of the stick. I think Croatia should have gotten into extra time. They really should have. I think they were truly robbed in that match against Portugal. We all know, though, we had to get Portugal. We had to get Ronaldo to go further on in the tournament. He's one of the cash cows. We've talked about it. There's only a few. Ronaldo's one of them. Messi, Mbappe, I think England and Harry Kane is, and then Erling Haaland, I think, is on his way to being one. I just don't think he is at this World Cup, because I think we saw exactly what happened. We'll get to that one. That's definitely in our top 5 as well for controversies. JV says, there's an old clip for Maradona saying that FIFA been wanting to do it since we did the last World Cup in the USA, and all the other nations refused till this World Cup. What do you mean by that, JV? Saying they've been wanting to do it since we did are you talking about the hydration breaks? Curious by that, JV. I have not seen that clip. I have not seen that one. So we'll have to see. Let me know what you say on that one. I have not seen that one. That clip. But I think number 3 could just be like the ticket prices as a whole. The whole the debacle of the whole ticket prices. I mean, some people got priced out, obviously. Some people had bought tickets and then got replaced. Their seating got worse because they got replaced. Like, someone bought behind the net and then, okay, the hydration breaks. Gotcha. Appreciate the clarification there. But they bought behind the net and then they didn't get bought behind the net, and then you got pushed up. It was weird. And then seeing some people buy tickets and sit outside the stadium, they got screwed out of it. I saw some Spain fans for the Belgium game get that exact treatment. That's horrible. You literally bought the tickets, and then people wanted to make some more money, just a little bit, and then they got priced out of it. And then I don't know. It's weird. And obviously this is gonna be the most profitable World Cup of all time, just because of the extended World Cup. Actually, I didn't even bring in the Argentina one. That actually, you know what? Ticket should be honorable mention here. I'm pushing tickets honorable mention. I didn't even put the Argentina ones at all. Number 3, I'm gonna put number 3 in honorable mention. My apologies here. Number 3 should be the England hitting or Norway hitting the sky, the sky cam line, the wire, whatever it is. Which, by the way, why do we have a sky cam in soccer? Like, only in America, guys. Only in America would we have a sky cam in soccer. The reason we have a sky cam in football and in the NFL is because where the ball is being kicked, we know exactly where the ball is ending up. On a kickoff, it's going on complete the other side. On a field goal, it's going one way. A punt, the same thing. It's going one way. Like, we know where that's going. Soccer, that's not the case. You punt, you punt it, you kick it down the field, it could easily just get sent right back, going the same way, and could hit the sky cam. And everyone was complaining about it. Clearly, the referee disagreed on it. That led to an England goal, which ultimately helped them winning the match. And then I think number 2 should be the whole Fuller-Balogun situation. I think Balogun, again, that's the first time since the 60s that they overturned a red card in a match after it being given as a red card. That's obviously up there, and obviously the whole Infantino, President Donald Trump, whatever it is, like that all happening, and President Trump said, yeah, could you just review that for us? Could you just review? Like, I've never seen anything like that happen ever in my life, and I think the USA probably should have just benched Balogun at least in the first half and then provided that spark in the second half. However, Pochettino didn't do that at all. And which I do want to get into the 2030 roster later on this week. You will see that at some point about it. And then obviously we have the whole like outcry from everyone. Belgium was pissed off about it. The whole world was pissed off about it. Everyone thinks the USA cheated, and I think that turned into what a great story was for the USA. Again, up until that point, I think everyone was really behind the USA. I think the world was kind of behind the USA making at least a little bit of a run. I don't think anyone expected the USA to get to the semifinals or even win the whole thing, let alone get to a final. I don't think anyone was expecting that, but I think everyone was kind of liking that the USA was kind of playing a little bit better. They were winning games. They were beating a European side in Bosnia. They beat Australia. They beat Paraguay relatively comfortable. And I think that whole Belgium situation, the whole Balogun situation, I think that kind of threw a wrench in everything. And then everyone was like, well, you need your president to bail you out of it. I think that is ultimately what ruined the USA's run, and I think that ruined everyone's view on the U.S. men's national team, which is ultimately a stupid thing because, I mean, you let something that had nothing to do with the on-field product ruin your reputation. It's almost like the whole Michigan stuff with Ward Manuel, the scandal stallions, Harbaugh, Sharon, Jawan, all that fun stuff. But like, you look at it, and that just threw a wrench in everything. Everyone kind of got upset with the USA. No one was rooting for them. Everyone started to root against the USA, and I think the perception from USA fans may have hindered a little bit as well because they're upset that, President Trump stepped in to reverse a red card, which in any other World Cup, which in any other setting, the USA would not get that sort of treatment. Whether you agree that it was a red card, whether you agreed on it or not, that's not the point. The point is you had outside sources that wasn't even included with FIFA call Infantino and say, let's overturn this thing. That hurt everyone, and then obviously that hurt their reputation as well, and everyone was happy that they lost. But the number one controversy, though, I think is just Argentina as a whole. I don't believe that the Cape Verde, there was some fishy stuff. Egypt, I definitely see some fishy stuff as well with the whole goal that was disallowed. Look, the foul happened like on the other side of the field, and then that allows to the Egypt counterattack. Then they score. Egypt scores a goal. It gets overturned, and then Argentina goes on to win the game. Not solely sold on that one really, because Egypt could have defended that lead for 20 minutes, and they just didn't. They just kind of just sat there and just let the game come to them. They didn't do anything about it. Could have been a little bit better. That just wasn't the case. They blew the lead, so I can't really feel bad for Egypt because you blew a 2-goal lead and you lost in 90 minutes. You didn't even get to extra time. So that one happened. I think the Switzerland one was rather soft in my opinion as well. The first yellow card, sure. But again, don't give the yellow card to Montiel. I think if anything, you could have just waved off the yellow card as a whole, and let's just play on. That wasn't the case. England or Argentina was allowed to play again, or allowed to play up a man. I just didn't like that at all about it. I was not a fan of that call against Embolo against Argentina, and I went through the stats yesterday. I think every 12 fouls for Argentina, you see a booking against them, and I think the second team was like 7 fouls and they get a yellow card, and every VAR decision has never gone against Argentina in this World Cup. I think that's a little bit shocking in my opinion. I don't see them winning tomorrow either, so I expect England to win and get to a final. But no, I think that is the biggest controversy is obviously Argentina, which, by the way, just got to throw in some Arsenal news for the people out there. Andre Berta, our sporting director, Mikel Arteta, they're pushing really hard to bring Julian Alvarez to the Emirates. Julian Alvarez said himself he wouldn't mind a move back to England and to play for Arsenal. So I'm just saying, I don't mind Julian Alvarez. I would really love him to be an Arsenal man for us this year. But that's going to wrap up the controversy side of things. We're going to get into more some USA talk on the other side of this break. We're going to talk about if the American best athletes played soccer. It's a dumb argument, people. It's a very dumb argument. Stop saying that. And then obviously Christian Pulisic we'll get into as well. But don't go anywhere. Inside the Game 320 will continue after this one.
Great game footage starts with Veo. Now a pass deep and up front. With NSN, we can transfer your Veo footage into a professional broadcast. Elevate your Veo experience today. Call 248-525-2083.
Opportunity and a shot and a goal!
The National Soccer Network, your home for soccer.
All right, episode 320, continuing on here. Again, a much more civil conversation last time around compared to the first part of the show. But anyway, my name is Ryan Glinsky, producer James Schofield, who I think has calmed down a little bit more since our music talk.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, no, let's talk about if USA's best athletes played the game of soccer. I feel like James after the Queen conversation, guys. It is the stupidest conversation there is when people say, "Well, if USA's best athletes played soccer, we'd be a lot better." The reason is not we suck at soccer not because our athletes aren't good enough. Our athletes are stellar. They're great all over the place. Our athletes in every sport are great. That's why the women's soccer team is so good, because we have the best athletes, and we also got a head start on everyone. But if you look at the way that they play compared to the men's game, the women's game is played. The women's game is played a little bit more on athleticism and speed compared to the men's game, which is a little bit more chess pieces being moved around everywhere. But that's not a knock at it. That's just the reality of it. And USA, if you were to throw in, let's just. Again, I'm not even going to throw in LeBron James or those types of players in, because 6'5" players really don't do a whole lot for us. If our best athletes played soccer, like if we just got rid of like those NBA players like Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, LeBron James, Steph Curry, whoever it is, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, whoever it is, threw them in. We took out like our quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Fred Warner, our linebackers, Sauce Gardner, whoever it is, and we just threw them into soccer, we would still suck. It is the dumbest argument. If USA's best athletes played soccer is the dumbest argument out there, because we still would suck. It's just the reality of it, people. It's just the reality, because it's our development isn't as good compared to everyone else. We prioritize the wrong things, so we wouldn't be good at it. And plus, we prioritize playing multiple sport athletes. Soccer is one of those sports where, again, we've seen it time and time again in the NBA and the NFL. Well, this guy just picked up the sport in high school. This guy picked up the sport in college. Like, Ziggy Ansah, Detroit Lions player, didn't pick up the sport until college. David Ojabo, a Michigan player, didn't pick up the sport until high school. Yaxel Lenneborg didn't pick up the sport really until after high school. He's now a lottery pick. Soccer is one of those sports that you cannot pick up at the age of 15, 16, and all of a sudden become a star. You just can't. You've got to play from like 9 up. Like that's just the reality of it. You've got to perfect your skills. You've got to perfect your touch. You've got to perfect the spacing. You've got to perfect how to read the game at a young age. That's the reality of it. If we put our best athletes, it wouldn't change a damn thing. We might be a little bit bigger. We might be a little bit tougher to play against. We might be maybe we ugly things up. We might mud things up. We might be really difficult to break down, but ultimately, we still wouldn't be that much better. Maybe we're better in the margins, but outside of that, we wouldn't be that much better because we are still, our development is where we lack in all of this. And I think our development is a little bit backwards. We've got 8, 9, 10-year-olds prioritizing how to play out of the back when in reality, they should just be perfecting their touch and their passing and their shooting and how to get out of tight spaces. Like, that's what they should be prioritizing. That's what Europe prioritizes. We don't prioritize that. All the youth should be about is getting touches on the ball and just trying to perfect your touch and get your passing and your shooting. Again, pay to play has nothing to do with this at all. Because if pay to play was the issue, then all of our other sports should suffer. That's not the issue. Our issue is our development as a country, and I think we are doing it backwards. Whereas when we get into the 15s and we get into the 16s and we get into all of that, we're behind the Spains, the Englands, the Frances, the Brazils, the Argentinas. We're behind all of that. That is the reality of it. It's let's not throw in our best athletes playing the sport of soccer. It's funny to like talk about, well, if LeBron James was up top, he had a 6'9" target man, you can turn around and just fight. Like, yeah, that's a fun conversation to have, but we just aren't good enough as a country. Like, our development just isn't there. Like, if our best yes, we've got some insane athletes like that play football and basketball, but if we just all of a sudden take the running backs in the corners and plop them in soccer, it's not going to change a damn thing because our development is off. Like, we might be a little bit faster, we might be a little bit quicker, we might be a little bit bigger, but again, you watch soccer, the greatest player of all time is smaller than me, and I'm 5'8" on a good day. Like, he's smaller than me. Lionel Messi is tiny. I look at Arsenal, for example. Leandro Trossard, small as hell. I look at a Bukayo Saka, small. Like, these players aren't that big. They're not that, like, Adama Traore, according to USA Sport Athlete Fandom, whatever, Adama Traore should be the greatest soccer player of all time because he's massive, he's huge, he's quick, but that's just not the case. The only exception to this rule is Erling Haaland. That is the only exception for Americans. Well, he's 6'4", he's big, he's fast, he's physical. Like, that is the only exception. But you look at the greatest players of all time, the greatest team of all time in 2010 Spain, which I would love to get into the conversation depending on what this France team does. I would love to compare 2008 to 2012 Spain to the 2018 to 2026 of France, depending on what they do. But you look at it, and you think to that team. Iniesta looked not physically imposing. Same with Xavi. Busquets was a twig, yet they were so good. David Villa, Fernando Torres, those types of players, like, they weren't physically imposing. Like, Puyol and PK, maybe Iker Casillas were like the only players that, like, damn, those guys are big. Like, the reason you feared Spain is not because of how physical they were. You feared Spain because of how well they were with the ball and how they were death by 1,000 passes is what they were called. Like, that's how you feared them, not because of their physical imposing. Yeah, in American sports, yeah, that's the thing. Basketball teams, football teams, baseball, like, because they're huge. That's why you fear them, but not because of you didn't fear soccer teams because of how big they were. You also feared Real Madrid with Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. Those guys weren't huge. They were small, but they dominated the possession. They dominated the midfield all the time. That's just the reality of it. Fernandinho, Man City, Brazil, one of the best midfielders in Man City's history. David Silva, another name with Manchester City. These players aren't huge. These players aren't physically imposing. They're just very good on the ball, and that is where America is lacking. Again, if you look at the U.S. men's national team against Belgium, where we got straight belt to ass, if you look at that match, our touches were horrible. Our passes were horrible. We turned the ball over whenever pressure got there. We turned the ball over. We puckered when pressure was on us. The only player that, like, were where Belgium was like physically imposing was Onana in the midfield and Romelu Lukaku, who came on as a substitute. Other than that, their players were just better than us. That is just the reality of it. Their players are better than us. Their development is better than ours. That is just the reality of it. Their culture is better than us. That is just the reality of it. And if you want to go into the sake of argument where I'll agree with you for a second where, well, if our best athletes did play soccer, it'd make a difference. They aren't playing soccer because they're going to go play football and basketball. Why? This is where the most money is. That is where they're, again, NIL in college. NIL money. What do you get in college? Who gets the most NIL money in college? Basketball and football. Soccer doesn't get NIL money. That is just the reality of it. So please, quit with this whole BS. If our best athletes played soccer, we would be better. Quit. As Neil Rule likes to say, cut the shit. Cut it out, please. Stop. Man, that is just an annoying conversation.
You know what? I got to contribute this too, because I think the other issue too is like every other sport, it's like, yeah, you can kind of fall into it as long as you like worked out enough and done enough drills and such. Soccer, it's as much of a head game as it is a physical game. Like kind of to your point, like the smallest guys can be the best guys because they can strategize, they can figure things out on the fly too. Because that's the other thing. American sports, we were talking about this before on how I would love to pause the freaking time, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all it is in American sports. It's timeouts. It's every down. Hey, if it was a pass and went on a bounds, we pause the clock, right? So you get that time to strategize and figure out what to do. So you got to be doing that on the fly constantly in soccer, right? I mean, there is no pausing. Well, except for the hydration break now. But
it won't happen anymore after the World Cup, guys.
And again,
it won't happen.
So yeah, you can be the best, but you got to be spending years developing that kind of on the fly strategy skill. It's not something that you just can walk into or work out.
Yeah.
You got to be, I don't want to say you're born into it, but you got to have that right from the beginning.
Yeah. That's a good point for James. Very, very, very good point. Hey, much civil from us after the whole music.
Let's not talk about music.
Very civil, but let's hit the last break. Let's talk about Christian Pulisic and how he's losing the American fans, and then we'll get into question of the day. So don't go anywhere. Episode 320. We'll wrap up right after this.
The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every goal changes everything. FanDuel is giving you a reason to root for every single one. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. The US look like they are truly poised for a dream run at this point. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. 21 and over, select state. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 and over in DC, Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. In Connecticut, call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. In Massachusetts, visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867. And listen to Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts, wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back into episode 320. Final topic here on Inside the Game. Again, my name is Ryan Glinsky, producer James Schofield in the building. We'll be back here. Well, I'll be back here for the France versus Spain watch party later on today. You guys can catch that right here on Inside the Game. Again, get your thoughts in there. Maybe Wednesday we bring back the Blazing Wing. Maybe we bring back it just for one.
Yeah, you know what? Bring it back. Let's do it.
For Wednesday, England-Argentina, we bring it back one time.
Yeah, do it.
We bring back the Blazing Wing one last time. So if you guys want to see me in some pain, again, I only do it for money. I only do the Blazing Wing
I'm about
for
to
money.
say, I do get paid tomorrow. So.
Okay, so it looks like James might be producing the Blazing Wings for us. But again, anyway, moving on into the Christian Pulisic debate. Christian Pulisic, JV wants the Blazing Wings. Oh boy, JV wants to see the Blazing Wings. I again, I don't really want to. I can't afford to do it back-to-back days just because of my body. But we will. And nothing really going on Thursday, so we could do Wednesday. All right. Let's bookmark it. Wednesday we will be doing Blazing Wings, England, Argentina. We will be doing it. Just to let you guys know, we will be doing it. England, Argentina. Watch it be like this insane game. I'm gonna get pissed off about it. But anyway, Christian Pulisic is losing the American fan base. And I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but I wanted to go a little bit. I want to talk about it again because I think it's a very good conversation to have with the USA fans, and I think it is a good topic, overall to see like where the state of the U.S. men's national team is. And Christian Pulisic was one of those players. I forget exactly when it was, but I think it was in between 2022 and 2026. Maybe it was a little bit before 2022. I forget exactly when it was. But he was a player that came out and said that he was upset with the amount of American fans that came out to support the U.S. men's national team. And he was upset by, the friendlies and all that. He wanted the atmosphere, the environment, because he's obviously used to the Chelsea environment, obviously at Stamford Bridge, and obviously he was used to the San Siro with AC Milan, and those two are night and days, which, by the way, if you have seen the Columbus Crew video, oh my God, it is hilarious. Please, if you get a chance, look at the Columbus Crew Norway row. It is hilarious. Please get a look at it. But I look at Christian Pulisic, and he was one that complained about it. Americans, they're two things that American sports fans want. They want drama, and they want grit and toughness. I guess grit and toughness are the same thing. And Christian Pulisic, they got the results. They had the drama with everything with Flo Balogun. But the biggest issue was Christian Pulisic and what he said after the Belgium game. If Christian Pulisic just came out and said, like, yeah, man, my foot is, I can't walk on it. My foot is, like, broken right now. I mean, he could have just lied to everyone and said, yeah, my foot's broken, instead of saying a sprained ankle and I can go home and I'm going to go rest now. That was his two biggest issues. He said sprained ankle and I can go home and rest. And Christian, that's not going to sit well. That's not going to sit well with the American people. It's really not. If he came out and said his foot's broken, oh my God, everyone would be like, damn. Well, at least you gave it a go after the fact. Like, that's what people would have liked. But you come out and say you're sprained ankle. I've seen the highlights. Isaiah Thomas back in the 80s, who played on a rolled ankle and had an unbelievable performance in the NBA Finals against Magic Johnson in the LA Lakers. We saw Paul Pierce go into the locker room on a wheelchair. He comes back. We've seen Kobe Bryant have like a dislocated shoulder or a dislocated finger that gets like popped back in. He goes back out, plays it more in the NBA playoffs. We've seen that time and time again. We've seen Klay Thompson tear his ACL, but he needed to, well, at the time he tore his ACL. He didn't know that, but he still comes out, knocks down a pair of free throws, because if he doesn't have those free throws, guess what? He can come back in the game if his knee is okay. So he comes out, knocks down a couple of free throws. Like Jack Hughes loses his teeth. He scores the game-winning goal in the Olympics. So we have seen time and time again of players, American athletes, whether that is hockey, football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, they get hurt. Axel Lenneborg, another one that we mentioned with his knee and his ankle, whatever it was, he comes back, he still plays, then plays in the national championship game a couple days later. But you look at the American athlete, they're built on toughness, they're built on grit, they play through a ton of pain. You see it all the time with football players, and Christian Pulisic to come out there and say, my ankle hurts, that's not going to sit well with the American people. It's not. And then when you say, well, now I can go home and rest. Well, Christian, the next World Cup and the last time American fans are really going to give a shit is in 4 years in the 2030 World Cup. They're thinking in their head, well, he can figure it out. He could rest in 4 years, and that's not the case because obviously he's got the club and everything, and I understand that, but most of the American casual soccer fan doesn't see that. They don't see that. Well, he's going to go play for AC Milan in his club team, so he's got to be well rested. I think there's something wrong in the mental of Christian Pulisic. They said he broke up with his longtime girlfriend, and there's something messing up with him there, which again I think that's a little soft in my opinion as well, Christian, because breakups whatever it is that happened like 6 months ago. Leandro Trossard, during the Arsenal run-in, his wife left him, and he still delivered goals for Arsenal. So I'm just saying, like, Christian is slowly losing the faithful, and this was a guy that was crowned the LeBron James of soccer. He was crowned the greatest U.S. men's national team player of all time before he even stepped into a World Cup. And I think that was also partly the media's fault. I wasn't a part of the media back then, back in 2017, 2018. But Pulisic obviously isn't that type of player. And I also think the American people put Christian Pulisic on a pedestal that he's not at. He is not as good as the Jeremy Dokus. He's not as good as the Dembeles, the Doués. He's not a top 15 winger in the world, guys. He isn't. And we as American fans back in the fall were putting him in the top 10 conversation category when he was scoring goals left and right. Then all of a sudden, January 1st comes around and he scored 1 goal in 2026, and that was a goal against Senegal. Again, he was fantastic against Paraguay in the first 45 minutes, but guess what? He gets hurt, doesn't play against Australia, doesn't do a whole lot against Turkey, doesn't do a whole lot against Bosnia, doesn't do a whole lot against Belgium. So he doesn't do a whole lot in this World Cup, if we're being honest. He didn't do a whole lot. He played really 45 minutes of good soccer. After that, he didn't do anything at all. So he didn't play a whole lot in this World Cup. He was complaining about being hurt. As Ted Lasso says, are you hurt or are you injured? You can play hurt, you can't play injured. It looked like Pulisic was hurt. He wasn't injured, and that is why America is starting to turn on Christian Pulisic. I think he's a very talented player. I think there's still something that he can grow into. I think he can still be an absolute superstar for the next 4 years for the USA, but the way his press conference sounded, his performances in this World Cup just was not the performance that myself and a lot of the American fans would have liked to see from Christian Pulisic. I think he really failed the U.S. men's national team, and I think he really failed the USA fans. Would love to see him get better in 2030. We'd love to see him get better in the Copa America, the international friendlies, whatever it is. Again, I could care less about what he did in the Gold Cup. The Gold Cup doesn't mean anything anymore. If the USA went out and beat Guatemala 6-0, wouldn't have changed anything for me. It would have been like, damn, that's a pretty fun game to watch. That's really about it. But that just wasn't the case for him. But anyway, let's get into question of the day here. Obviously, James, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so, with everything starting to wind down a little bit, I'm in between games at the moment. What's the best interim sport to watch waiting for the next season of soccer?
The best interim sport?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
What do we use to fill in the gaps?
There's really nothing you can fill in because the club season's going to start right back up here in like a month.
Yeah.
So, hold on. When is the... Let's see, EPL schedule. When is the first one? It's Arsenal. Friday, August 21st is the first match. So there really is.
Yeah, so we really don't have a lot of time.
July 19th, and obviously you can watch all the preseason stuff. I don't know exactly when all the preseason stuff is going to happen, but you can definitely watch all that. I mean, there really isn't much to watch. I mean, you could probably watch ESPN The Ocho. There's just like random sports that goes on, kickballs going on. Not the WNBA. Not the WNBA, JV.
What's wrong with the WNBA?
I can't watch the WNBA.
What's wrong with WNBA?
It's not a good product. The WNBA is not a good product. JV says, WNBA, baby, you can't get my eyes off of Sophie Cunningham. Well, Sophie Cunningham just on Detroit, so I'm not a big fan of her. No, I mean, the only WNBA player that I will probably ever watch is Caitlin Clark, because I think she's good. I think she's just hated on because she's good at the sport and is bringing publicity to the sport. I like watching Angel Reese because she's just ass at basketball. She's just horrible. So I don't mind watching Angel Reese suck at basketball because it amuses me for my entertainment and it gets me to laugh. But I don't watch the WNBA, to be honest with you. I guess MLB, you can watch NFL preseason games, you can watch NFL training camp. I generally don't know, but if I'm looking at what sport to watch, there really isn't many options for you people. I just don't see many options for you guys because it's simple. I don't see a place where where there's any sport that could really take your attention because there's not a whole lot of a gap in between the World Cup and in between in the club game. And this is, I want to get, this wasn't planned at all, but I want to talk about this, touch on this for the next couple of minutes here, is I think that, I think the soccer player that is, I think soccer players are being overused. I think they're being hurt a little bit. I think FIFA is like, I don't want to say FIFA is like killing the players, but FIFA is killing the soccer player if you think about it. In this schedule, you're going to have a month off in between the World Cup and then the club season gets started. You've got to get back in the flow with your club team. And obviously, if you get to a bad start with your club season, you might not get to where you want to go in your club season. So that's why the Champions League might have a little bit more of a point of emphasis this year. Then you think about when the season ended as a whole. I mean, you had a week or two off before you had to get back into international camp. So these players are being overused a ton. I'm just going to use the Arsenal example here for a second. So just bear with me because I know Dave is probably pissed off if he's in the chat still. If he's probably pissed off about this whole Arsenal conversation. You look at Arsenal and PSG. Those two teams played roughly about 60 games this year, right? And they played in the Champions League final a week after their club seasons ended. And then like a week or two later, those players who are making big differences for their international sides, you look at France, obviously, Mbappe, or Doué, Dembele, Olise with Bayern Munich. They made a deep run. Mbappe, Real Madrid didn't make as much of a deep run, but you look at Arsenal, Rice, Saka, Zubimendi, all those types of players, they made a deep run with their club teams. All of a sudden, they've got to go into the World Cup, and then all of a sudden, they get all the way to the final stages of the World Cup. They played 3, 4, 5, 6. They're on their 7th game of this World Cup, and don't get me wrong, they're practicing every single day too. They're training every day, and that's why you hear these England coaches and all these coaches at this point. They're like, we're not implementing really anything on the training ground. We are just simply resting because we need to get our guys as rested as humanly possible going into these World Cup matches. That's the case, and then all of a sudden, those guys have got to hop back in and play in the club season in less than a year. I think we're going to see more and more injuries in this club season simply because of that fact. Not a whole lot of rest in between the club season and the World Cup. The World Cup is an expanded field. There's more teams, there's more games, and then it's a more condensed schedule as well. And then after the World Cup, you have to get right back into the club season as well. So I'm interested in seeing how many injuries we're going to get in the club season. I think it's going to be quite a lot, and just not a big fan of the condensed schedule for all these teams. And don't forget, I mean, these teams, the big boys that were the best players are playing, they are now playing in the, for Arsenal, for example, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Community Shield. They've got the Premier League. They've got the Champions League. There's a whole lot that they got to get into. So, that is definitely something that you've got to keep it out for once the club season gets going, is how many injuries are going to happen. And if you look at it, I'm telling you right now, it's simply because of the World Cup that has been happening this summer. More teams, more condensed schedule. But anyway, that's going to wrap up episode 320. I will see you guys later on for the watch party for France versus Spain. I'll see you then. If I don't see you at the watch party, we'll be right back here at 9 a.m. to recap the France versus Spain game and then get you ready for England versus Argentina. And then that will lead us into the World Cup final. Again, we are getting down to the thick of it here. We're getting to the short end of the World Cup. Sad to see it go, but again, it's been a very good tournament, and obviously we are getting into the best match, the best sporting event in the world.
Yeah, looking forward to that halftime show. Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Nope, the World Cup, definitely not the World Cup halftime show. I might have to go off screen and put commercials up on the screen.
I'm going to be the one at that watch party. I'll be watching the halftime show for you. All right, Ryan?
I appreciate you. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys later on today. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody. Welcome back into Inside the Game podcast.
We are a soccer nation.
Have such a deep appreciation for hyper-local, community-based, lower-level soccer. There's going to be millions of fans over here that want to watch and consume as much football as they can.
What you are doing is important. And this is all about, like I said, spreading the gospel. It takes a village, right?
No, I just really appreciate being on here and you being able to provide this platform for, us and all those people grinding away at the lower leagues, just trying to make great things happen. So I really appreciate you, and you guys know what you're doing, and